Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Harvey Jurgen with Simple Solutions Real Estate in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm back with Christi Hawkins, a 25-year real estate veteran with experience in every nook and cranny of the real estate industry. And we are talking today about how to figure out what your house is worth. We believe that selling your house should be easy, shouldn't be a painful process. We believe in helping people figure out how to sell their real estate and make it as painless as possible so that they can concentrate on themselves and their family. And why is it important to know what my house is worth, Christy, if I am starting the process or just thinking about maybe selling?
Well, it's a good place to start. Before you do anything, you have to have a place to start, and you need to know what your property is worth.
Mm-hmm.
Not from your neighbor, not
Yeah.
from the person at work,
Yeah.
not from anybody else, but you
Yeah.
have to do your own research first.
Right. Yeah. And I think just kind of knowing what your house might be worth as it sits today
Yes,
is useful in shaping the rest of your decision making in terms of,
absolutely.
you know, what your mortgage payoff is, if you have one, what your house is worth obviously factors into that
Mhm.
formula, and if it even makes sense to try to sell
Right.
your house. It also might drive your decision on whether you need to do some work or you can
Mhm.
sell it as it is right now, and how quickly, etc. So just having that, like you said, starting point is extremely useful. So that's where I want to start if I want to start selling my house or think about it.
Okay.
What tools do I need to start that process and get that information
Well, you need a computer and you need internet access, or
or
you can use
access
your
to?
phone. Yes, or access to. You can do this
Okay.
on your phone as well.
Okay.
Um, I like a website called Redfin,
Okay.
redfin.com. And I just go to Redfin and I enter in my address in the search box,
Hmm.
and it'll pull up some generic photos of my home.
Okay. So I'm a little bit more savvy, and I know there are other options out there. Why do you like Redfin over Zillow, just or Trulia or Realtor.com or any of that other stuff?
I like Redfin for the additional information it gives.
Okay.
I think it gives much more detail
Hmm.
about the property. It gives you information about the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I like that. It'll tell you the past sales of the property for the last several years. I like that. It'll also tell me where a listing started, like how much did they have to come down from their list price as far as what they sold it.
Oh,
I
cool.
like it better.
Okay, cool. Well, why don't you show us Redfin?
Okay.
And I think it is just redfin.com, correct?
It is. Yes, it's just redfin.com.
All right. So this is Redfin here.
This is Redfin. Yep, this is Redfin. So if I get to the website, I pull it up, and then in this search box, right up here where it says city, address, school, agent, zip code, those are all the different ways you can search for properties. Like if your house was in a really, really, really a good school district, win awards, you might just put that in, whatever your school district is. But I put in my address.
Yeah, very basic way to start, I guess, would just to put my address in that search
Yep.
bar.
Yep.
So let's assume you already did that, and we've pulled up our fake address of 3804 Hillcrest Street in Hilliard.
Yes.
All right, so
So
here's my house.
here's my house. So my house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch with 1,569 square feet. So that's what I have to start with. What you're looking for, because a house is ultimately worth what a buyer will pay for it. So when you're looking for what your home may be worth, you have to find other homes that have sold that are like yours.
And can I find any house in Hilliard or any house in Central Ohio?
Yes, you can.
Okay. What would I prefer though?
You would prefer houses that are like yours in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Typically, you want it to be within a half a mile and within the last 6 months. All right. So on Redfin gives you details about the house. It gives you an estimate of what it thinks.
Should I trust that?
I wouldn't. No. I mean, it might give you a ballpark, but I wouldn't get hung up on it. It also tells me that this home last sold for $120,000 on August 31st in 2007. So what I like about it is that you scroll down the page and it gives you all kinds of information on this property. But what it also does is it suggests properties that are like yours based on your location.
Mm-hmm.
So like right here, you see the first suggestion is 4666 Hillcrest Street North, in Hilliard, Ohio. So I would click on this one because it's got 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths, and it has 1,432 square feet. Well, that's almost just like mine.
Yeah, very similar.
Very similar. So now I want to look and start investigating this house.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look at the exterior of the house. Does mine look like this? Is mine in poor condition? Is my roof in poor condition? Is my landscaping not done? Be honest about yourself with what your house looks like.
Yeah, I think in general, when we pull up a comp and we see what price it's sold for, we are going to then look at size and condition to adjust that price up or down for our house.
Correct.
Right. If this house is bigger, we would adjust our price down. If this house is nicer or in better condition, then we adjust our price down, and then vice versa based on size and condition.
Correct.
Okay. So this one is a little bit smaller, correct? And
correct.
has a half bath instead of 2 full baths.
Right.
So assuming that we have very similar condition, we might be able to adjust this price up a little bit.
Yep, I would.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, you might look at a 250 for what you've got, again, depending on the condition of your home compared to this home. But that's definitely a property that you could use for a comparable to your house.
Okay, great. And we're just getting a general idea right now. Yep. All right. So that's comparable property number 1.
Yes.
You want to look at another one?
Yes. So again, Redfin suggested 3812 Hillcrest Street East. Again, I'm on the same street.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the same street that I live on. This property is 3812 Hillcrest.
Yep.
It's sold for $220 on March 5th.
Which makes sense because the one we just looked at, 4666 Hillcrest, was a little bit bigger, about 400 square feet bigger, had an extra half bath, and sold for $230.
Yes.
And it looks like, if you review the pictures, which we don't need to, it looks like to be, in good condition, well maintained. Okay,
yes.
So that makes sense. They adjusted downward about $10,000. To be fair, we don't know anything else about the mechanicals or the roof or the yard or any of that stuff right now. I'm sure we could dig into the verbiage in the listing, but okay. All right. So this makes sense. So my house at 3804 Hillcrest is still bigger than this one.
Uh-huh.
So we're not going to go under 220 as long as we're very similar condition.
Correct.
Okay. If we are worse condition, then we just adjust down. And another comp.
Yep. I have one more. This one is on Crandon Street, and it sold for $185,000 in February of 2021.
Okay.
So I want to look at this. It's got 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and it only has 1,073 square feet. Which
is very similar to the one we just looked at on.
Absolutely.
3812 Hillcrest. In fact, that was a 3, 1.5, and about 1,000 square feet. So the conditions must be different, right?
They must be different.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if I really wanted to dial that in, I could take a look at the pictures.
Absolutely. They're all right here.
Yeah, I could read the description.
Yep.
And compare the 2 properties and then compare them to my property.
Absolutely.
Christi, if you don't mind, can you go back to my property at 3804 Hillcrest? I just wanted to note that if this is your house, you can click that red button there that says I'm the owner, and you can get updates on the value of your home, and you can also make adjustments to that information that's listed under the picture in case it's inaccurate. So that's a handy little tool.
It's very handy.
Because you don't want Redfin giving you a Redfin estimate based on the wrong number of bedrooms and bathrooms and the wrong square footage.
Right. Right. They take this information from the MLS and any kind of public information. So if it's been entered wrong somewhere along the line, then it'll be wrong here.
Okay. So basically we've just did a very general search based on proximity to my house, based on size, and based on
condition.
Yep. And based on
and bedrooms and bathrooms.
Are there any other things, maybe 1 to 3 other things that I should consider in terms of features of a property that would affect value?
I would look at garage, no garage. That's going to affect the value of a property.
Yep.
Lot size.
Yep. Lot size or lot placement.
Yep. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And then finally location. Where are you located?
Yeah. And I would say a basement or not.
Basement's a good one. Yeah, basement's a good one.
Maybe even, is my yard fenced? This one wasn't.
Yep, that may all makes a difference. It all
Yep.
makes a difference.
Yeah,
Mhm.
slightly at least.
Yes,
Okay. All right. But I think now we've given anybody who's watching this a very, very general idea of A, the tools that they can use to figure out what their home might be worth, and then a method for getting a real general idea of their value, within, I don't know, 10,000, twenty
I would
thousand
say at least,
dollars
yeah, 10, yeah, I
on
would
either
say
side.
10,000.
And it's just a place to start, because then once you go further down the path, especially if you start talking to a professional real estate agent,
Absolutely. Always
you're going to get a
consult a
better idea.
professional.
Yeah. I mean, you can't sell your property by yourself. And if you're going to do that, obviously you want to have a good
Right,
sense of what your house is worth. But also, if a listing agent comes over to talk to you, you also want to be educated too, because if they start talking $300,000 in this case, or $150,000 in this case, and your house is very similar, then, they're talking crazy.
right, right.
Right. All right. So hopefully at this point, we know what tools we can use to figure out the value of our house. And we kind of know what process to use to figure out a very general value of our house. And hopefully that informs you on your decision making moving forward. So hopefully at this point, you have a very general idea of what tools you need to figure out a very general idea of what your house is worth. And hopefully that helps you and guides you in the decision making process for your house and what you want to do with it in terms of selling it. So, Christy, any last thoughts?
Always consult a professional as well.
Yeah.
Always do that. And there are 1,000 different ways to do this. But you need to be educated and you need to be informed. You need to be armed with information
Yep.
before you go into it, making that decision.
Yep. Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Christy.
Thank you.
I am sure that if you have questions about this process or want additional information or guidance, reach out to Christy or myself, and we'd be more than happy to walk through things with you, or even look at your specific deal or your specific house
Yep.
and see if we can't figure out what it might be worth together. Again, I'm Harvey Jurgen, Simple Solutions Real Estate, and we'll see you next time.